I love it. You know, you've asked me my highlight of the trip. I think this was my highlight of the trip.
Oh,
So,
it can't be.
Cameron and I are sharing. It's a double bed,
Okay,
right?
because this is gonna get clipped, and I know it's gonna get shared. And after the freeze frame of me kissing Coach, it's gonna look bad. So let me explain.
Cameron and Saaiman, ladies and gentlemen. Cameron and Saaiman taking care of business. Wow. That look says it all.
Mark Hume, the highly requested guy to bring back on the podcast for episode 2. It's so great to have you here. Welcome back to the MSP Show. It's it's sick. This is part 2, baby.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great we obviously got to spend a lot of time. We were away for 3.5 weeks.
So you're just gonna pretend like it didn't happen.
I knew you were gonna lead with that story. We'll get into how close we bonded.
Okay.
from the start, but it's great to know that we are back home. Like, let's quickly just chat about that.
I fought with someone literally as we landed. You know, like, I just wanted to get back home. Like,
yes.
I love this country. I love the people here. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
And we're standing there waiting for our ride, which is a whole different story. Yeah. We got clamped because Wayne left the car unattended looking for us. And this lady comes out. Like, her husband's already standing there. He opens his trailer and it's kind of full.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't realize. So he knew, obviously, what kind of difficult women he has. I didn't know. I was just like, oh, I hope that's not us.
Yes.
Then this lady comes out with a trolley, bangs it against his trailer, chins something like, I hate this place. I hate the people. And I'm just saying, and fuck off back where you came from. Like, if you don't love it, you fuck off. Like, I love it. I'm glad to be back. And she looks at me like about to erupt, and the mother comes, and I got the faintest idea they're from the UK.
Yeah.
And the mother's like, just stay out of this. And I'm like, who the fuck are you, the Queen of England? Take your shit and fuck off. Like, don't come trash talk my country. And the husband's like busy packing in all the things like a good plebe. And he looks up and he looks at me and he sees like me and Esty, and he's just like, no, not today.
He's not gonna fight. That is.
Yeah.
So that was basically your first interaction.
Yes.
As you landed.
Yes.
That's. So was she? She was in South Africa.
She was South African. Like, what I gathered is they live in the UK.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
And they're just visiting.
Okay. And she was already irritated with.
Probably hating on customs or something.
Yeah. Because I remember there's nothing as welcoming as, you know, getting through the passport control, and they just like treat you like shit, and you're like, man, I'm home. I'm home. That's beautiful.
So that used to be also like, I came back with a different perspective after this trip.
Yes.
Right, so I've been to Russia, I've been to UAE, and every time I came back, I had a similar experience. Like, you know, nothing works.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this place.
Yes.
Like, in hindsight.
Definitely.
Right, so you get here, you have a little bit of difficulty at customs,
Yes.
stamping your passport, you wait an hour for your bags. I used to travel with like a duffel bag.
Yes.
So it never came on the actual conveyor. I always had to go look for it somewhere else.
And like a fragile type of
but we love
unit.
it, dude.
Yeah, it's great.
Like,
it's great. Nothing works here. The people that usually work at the airport is super rude, irritated. I remember when we went through passport control, the guy next to me the lady was like giving him flack because like the picture, he's obviously an older gentleman, so the picture doesn't look like him, and he's like,
what can I do?
It's a South African passport. I promise you, it's me. I've traveled with it from the UK to here. We're good. And she's like, no. And she's calling a supervisor, just like causing a stir for nothing. So it was just, it's very welcoming to also wait for your bags and be like, shit, is my stuff stolen? You know, is it going to come back? Am I coming back with half a bag? You know,
back in the day.
It's exciting.
You know, like, I think it was just to Cape Town. We travel with like all the salt in our bags, and you can imagine how that looks to them. So every time the bag came out, it was like open.
Oh yeah,
salts have been like
Epsom salt for the
cuts.
cuts.
100%.
Yeah, it was. I think it's very interesting because every single trip I come back with a great appreciation for what we have. And even though like the people treat us like shit and nothing works, it's still our people.
It's 100%.
You know, that machine that doesn't work, that's our machine.
It's our machine.
Yeah, so it's always like gratefulness, coming back with a lot of grateful
I
thankfulness.
must agree.
Yeah.
And I think just for the people who don't know, like spending 3 weeks in Vegas, that was the experience of a lifetime. But you really count your blessings.
Yeah.
Like you really come to appreciate, especially the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Yes.
South Africa.
It's so funny because when we said we're gonna do this, you're like, okay, but I'm quickly gonna go stop.
No, we
Just
need our coffee.
Yes.
We've been deprived for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think people can fully understand how shit coffee is in America. Like you
Yeah.
tried to warn me. Like in
Yes.
hindsight, I would actually risk getting locked up for smuggling beans into America
Yes.
rather than drink their shit.
100%. We're gonna definitely take a roast the next time. We'll just put it in Estia's bag because he's already been arrested. So it's fine. It's like it's okay. You can take another strike on that on that passport of his. But the coffee hunt was interesting because I tried to warn you,
You did.
and then when we got there, I
did.
think you realized.
No, that I will never forget. Cam and I went on a miserable trip one day. Remember when all the shops were
Yes.
closed
Yeah.
that specific day, and eventually we end up in this it looked like quite a fancy restaurant.
Yes.
Like you would expect some quality stuff.
Yeah.
And when that coffee came, my heart just sank.
Yeah, it
like
was
all the
terrible.
way to my stomach.
Almost looked like orange, like Oros. It's like orange. It's not even brown.
It
It's
wasn't even coffee. I'm
Yeah.
so sure it wasn't even. Like my theory is that they make 2 espressos, like not 2 doubles, 2 single espressos in the morning, and then
Yes.
they just kind of like give that to the first people, and whatever's left, they come
They-
back and they chuck it into the next person's
So we're getting
coffee.
recycled coffee.
That's what it tasted like, 100%.
Gila's shaking his head. He's like, this is terrible.
Hilo, don't you want to come to America next time and we just stuff your bag full of coffee?
We'll use you as a mule.
A coffee mule.
A coffee mule. Yeah. Okay. Gila's in to be a coffee mule. I let's do that. I think that's a great
I'm
idea.
100% in for it. Oh,
But-
you're gonna swallow some bags for us as well, just in case.
But
The full shebang. Just happy to be there. No, we happy too.
we actually got quite lucky because when at the Palms Hotel we had the coffee bean and tea leaf.
Dude, shout out to the Palms Hotel. Shout out
Yes.
to Dan. Well, what was his name?
Dan?
Mayer.
Let's quickly check.
Jesse. It's a famous footballer, but it's also a barista in the Palms that happens to make like one of the better cups of coffee in America.
Okay, I can't find him.
Dan, man, Dan
Hardy?
Maiden, isn't it?
Maiden. Let's check. Dan
Something Maiden.
Maiden. Dan Maiden.
Is it?
Hayden? No. Okay, we'll get it.
We'll
We'll
get
we'll
there.
tag him. I think we need to
He
just
needs
add
a shout out.
Yeah.
Bro. He
He-
gave us a lot of comfort in
Yes.
times of need.
He was, and he's a stand-up comic as well. So it was great. Every single time we went there, it felt like I was sleeping with a hanger in my mouth because I couldn't stop laughing at the guy. He was so. I think he was like practicing bits as well.
100%.
And it was really fun to watch, especially after we had that other barista, which was the rudest guy on the
That guy
planet.
was a dick, straight up dick. Imagine the honey is within arm's reach. I take it, and he's like insisting that I ask him for the honey. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why we love this country so much. The people here, we have our own kind of shit.
Yes.
Like someone is full of shit, but
Yeah.
we are tolerant towards our people's
Yeah.
like shittiness. Where
Yes.
there it felt like it was a whole another level of shit. It's like shit heaped on top of shit.
I think it's like a deep level of sensitivity. It's like they have their systems, and if you deviate from that, then it's like
Basically,
big problem.
Yeah, their brains break.
Yeah.
If the system goes from point A to B to C, and you go from A to C because
Yeah.
fuck B,
yeah.
they just like they glitch. I don't know.
But it was all in all. I think the Palms was amazing. I think we had a great stay. We shared a bed the first night.
The first. I mean,
night.
how can I ever forget that night?
It was glorious.
So, I love it. You know, you've asked me my highlight of the trip. I think this was my highlight of the trip.
Oh,
So,
it can't be.
Cameron and I are sharing. It's a double bed,
Okay,
right?
of course, this is gonna get clipped, and I know it's gonna get shared. And after the freeze frame of me kissing Coach, it's gonna look bad. So let me explain.
He's gay. He's gay. Everyone knows. He's out. He's out the closet.
I'm
He's
not.
not gay.
No. I think that I've come to realize that I sleepwalk a lot. So it's after telling a few people the story of what happened, my mother has said that she's caught me
Similar
just
experience.
fast asleep, waking up, looking out of the window, and then when I get called, I like just get back into bed and fall asleep immediately.
Dude, I will tell you,
So-
it was a scary encounter, but I don't think as scary. You told me you squared up with your brother once.
So I actually squared up with my brother visited from George, and he was on his phone. I went to bed. He was on TikTok or whatever, and when he came into the room to come to bed next to,
it.
so he was sleeping in
Yeah.
the same bed, and when he came into the room, I jumped up onto my feet and I'm in a fighting stance, and he's like. He thought I was joking in the beginning, and he's like doing this, and I'm just following him, but I'm like looking straight through him. And then he realized like I'm asleep.
shit.
I'm not registering when I say when he asks something, I'm not registering. And then apparently I just went back to bed.
Yeah, so I mean, I can honestly resonate with that. That look in your eyes is quite scary. You're looking straight into the person's soul. I don't know what you're searching for. So
Answers.
I mean, after what was it? It was like a more than 24-hour flight. Eh?
Yeah, it was quite extensive.
So it was a 9-hour
Travel.
flight to London.
Yes. 7 hour
and we were
later.
so blessed, actually. Like, if I can just quickly tell that story.
Yeah.
So our flight was delayed in South Africa.
Yeah.
And we tried to get into a lounge, and you couldn't pay for access.
Yes.
And somehow we got in.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
obviously,
they were actually very kind. I was like, because I got access, and then they were like,
Yes.
they don't take outside people. But again, that's South Africa for you. It's like, it's not in the rules, but
yeah,
go
you
eat
know,
their
like
food.
we feel for you.
yeah,
Come in.
yeah,
So that was a pretty decent start to the trip. Got into the plane 8-9 hours to London. Slept all the way. That was amazing. Now we get there, and obviously we're heading straight for that next lounge.
yeah.
And I have this feeling like no one wants, like, if you didn't pay for the ticket, you're not gonna pay to get in.
Yes.
Right, so I already have that feeling, and we're on our way to the lounge, and I check it's like buzzing there by the.
It's so many people, because everyone from those flights, incoming flights, are now checking into the lounge.
So Cameron, Dricus, and I were walking there, and they're gonna go check in.
Yeah.
I don't even want to bother asking for permission.
Yes. Yeah,
Like,
you just.
I know I
you
need
just
this.
kept on walking straight. I was like, yeah, you do you, Mark.
I belong here.
Yeah.
This is...
But it was perfect because you also had such a big bag with you. It was actually so obvious, and you were just like, just strolling in.
When in doubt, act like you own the place.
Yeah.
That's always worked for me. When in doubt, act like you own
You
the
did
place.
that beautifully. So yeah, then we were there, and then it was like a 11-hour flight
To Vegas. And I mean, at that point, we were pretty wrecked.
Dead, yeah.
The gym was slow, so you guys couldn't even go do your little power up session.
And we landed late. I think
We
like
landed
6 or 7.
Yeah, definitely. We stretched it out till 9, like soldiers fighting that
The jet
jet
lag.
lag. And I must say, like, after sleeping on the airplane seats and sharing a double bed was like an orgasmic experience, to be honest with
It
you.
was gorgeous.
Little did I know. Little did I know. So here I am, passed out, sleeping like a little baby. And I know I'm in a room with 2 guys, you know. So, like, in the back of your head, you always know that. And next thing, okay, Cameron and I are sharing a bed. Next thing, I feel this kiss on my cheek, but like a blatant mwah. I love you, baby. And I'm like trying not to, like I'm really trying to act cool, but I'm freaking out. My heart is like fucking pumping. And I look across and Cameron is like lying on his elbow like this, looking at me with like this grin on his face. And I make like a little eye contact. I'm like, Cammy? You know, like I don't want to make a big deal. If he loves me, he loves me. I love him too. I love you too.
Yeah,
bro.
I love you, man.
You know, the kiss was a bit uncalled for, but
Yeah.
Cammy. And he just keeps looking at me. I'm like, okay, well, this brother's obviously sleep kissing or
Yes.
I don't know, he's missing his girl. He's been talking about her a lot. And I just went on sleeping with that heart pounding.
Yeah.
Look, yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
No, it happened.
I love you though. No
I love
homo.
you.
No
No homo.
No homo.
Don't you guys dare hate. Okay. It was one of the nicest kisses I've ever received. I needed that.
Yeah, I think
I needed that.
I don't even know. Not my proudest moment, but
We've all
rather
been
that
there.
than like hit you with an elbow, because I think like I wouldn't like that.
No,
because
that
I
would
think-
have been too much confrontation
Yeah,
for
I
one
think
day, really.
because I don't like my chances after that. Because you quite fast asleep, you take an elbow to the face.
Look, I don't know, like honestly, after that kiss, I just kind of went blank. I remember the story, but I was kind of like frozen in place. You know, I've had some terrible experiences.
That
One of the initiations, I lived in the gym when I moved to Joburg.
yeah.
And then obviously it's like a few more guys would come and go and come and go. And I don't know how it happened, but it was me, Kieron, and Quaid at that specific time sleeping in the gym. So it's like our posy, and like you get extremely possessive about your little spot because
Yes.
that's your house. That's where you're living. And just before I get there, like, so you get so possessive. I get back one night and my pillow's gone, bro.
Mhm.
Someone took my pillow, and back then it was, I don't know if you remember this guy, Raymond Uana or Raymond, big light heavyweight, sometimes middleweight, but like seriously, like a huge guy.
can't
It's
remember.
long ago,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. He stole my pillow and he paid the price for it the next day. Like I was trying to fucking kill this guy. Bro. He took my pillow, and obviously I took it back, but I couldn't sleep on it because he slept on it that same night.
Yeah.
So now there's specific like.
So do you need to clean the pillow first before sleeping?
I did. I had to go wash all the stuff. Really.
Yes,
you know.
okay, I
It's
understand,
just
yeah.
sanitary reasons. But now, so it's the three of us. I don't know where Raymond is. He disappeared, and Duo Kim moves into the gym,
Okay.
and I'm like, we need to initiate this oak, and the way we're gonna initiate him is we're gonna pretend like we're gonna rape him. So like it's the worst thing I could think of. Like no one wants to be raped by three men under a cage, right? So the whole day we're playing it like subtle, just like see you tonight, like we're gonna get you, like don't worry, you're gonna sleep tight.
Like prison rules.
No,
almost.
100% prison rules, and we're alone in the gym, you know.
That must be terrible.
So the evening comes.
Sorry, but I think it's quite important to the story. You were a welterweight at that stage,
Yes.
right?
Kieron was a middleweight.
Yes.
Quady lightveight,
Yes.
featherweight.
What weight was?
He's like 57, 60 maybe 61, 57.
Yes.
Yeah, like
So-
no, he didn't have a real chance.
Yeah.
Okay. So lucky there was someone responsible.
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed. We're all in our place now. Kieran had like a terrible habit. You sleep and kiss people and fight people. He would eat in his sleep. So like in the middle of the night, you just hear.
So he had bedside snacks.
100, but he's not awake. He's not lucid. He's fucking doing it.
he's-
He'd wake up with like smudged like chocolate and shit around his mouth.
Shit.
Anyway, so that specific night, we're all in bed. We tune duo. Hey, you're the new guy. Go put off the lights. And as he's walking to go put off the lights, we're like, okay, as soon as he comes under the cage, we're gonna grip him. And it's like we didn't plan this thing through. We're obviously not gonna rape the guy, right?
Yeah,
So like
obviously.
we're just like as soon as he comes back, we're just gonna grip him and like
Yeah,
you know,
pretend like-
scare him a little bit. And as he comes back, we're like giggly and we grip him and we're like pinning him down. And then Kieron's like pulling down his pants and he's like pulling down his pants. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm not ready to rape someone. I don't want to do this. And then eventually I was like, no, Kieron, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, the joke is over. It's not funny anymore.
That is
No, yes.
that can cause like serious psychological issues.
Yeah, dude, it was rough back then. No, it was rough. Like, I mean,
That
I don't know how we got into that story.
yeah, but
Forgive me. I'm not like that. No one's gay in this room.
yeah.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Okay, we're gonna quickly switch. The United States. It was your first time going to the States, first time in Vegas. You obviously had, you got to, and I'm so glad that you got the opportunity to join us. Not only there, but also at the PI. We went to Syndicate, no, is it?
Xtreme Couture.
Xtreme Couture. We went there as well. Just tell us, what was your impressions about the PI? I'm quite intrigued because I think it's quite, when I was there for the first time, it was a lot of, it's overwhelming, and then you get to be there, and then almost every single day you can't believe you get to train there, but then you get more comfortable with being there and you see yourself operating from there. So just tell us a little bit about that.
What I loved about it the most is when we came together, you and I, and he said the PI is like the intercontinental grounds in
Yes.
John Wick.
Oh, yes.
You don't conduct business here.
Yes.
And that kind of, that put it into perspective for me. And I think that is the way I will always see it, intercontinental ground.
Yes.
It is the most high-tech facility I've ever seen in my life. As you, yes, what an experience. What
It is insane because you get to engage with these guys that you will possibly face, but everyone is there for the same cause. Like, everyone is there to get better. Everyone is there for testing, for just getting through the motions of, okay, I have this opponent for this weekend or the weekend after, so I'm not gonna focus on this guy and this guy that are in my weight. It's just like, hey, what's up, catch you later, possibly. But it's just, it's kind of, everyone has like this unspoken rule of like, we are here for the same goal.
Yes.
And under the same banner.
We're working here.
Yeah.
We're working here, and this is not a specific job that we are going to do at this moment, but we are all working under the same roof. It was, yes, brother, I honestly, I don't know how to explain it to you. The best way I can explain it is run you through the place quickly.
Yes.
Right?
Run us through the place.
Coolest thing is this fingerprint opens up all the doors. Right?
Yeah, that's quite,
So we get there, Cameron or Dricus has to open a door for us, unless they open it from the inside. And then obviously they've got the book, and they try and negate it so that you are not there while your opponent is
Yes, they actually do a very good job at making sure that even if you're there on the same times, you are doing your peak sessions on different levels, different floors.
So the two levels, as you walk in, you sign in, you walk through the first door. Obviously, there's a coffee machine. Terrible coffee, but it gets you through the day. You walk through the second two doors. On your right is the bathroom. Behind the bathroom is your recovery center, ice bath, sauna, and like a little swimming pool.
Yes.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
Took full advantage of that.
Yeah.
Then you take a short left. To the left is where the physios and the bios are.
Yeah.
That obviously the week of the fight and building up to it, or keeping the guys in tip-top shape. I'm thankful that they obviously got you guys there. And then it's like the big conditioning section where I saw most of the famous people, I would say.
Yeah.
Right? Then, as customary, we would go through the back of that to the
cafeteria.
To the cafeteria, and that's exactly what it is, a cafeteria, like you would see in a movie.
Yes, it's a proper cafeteria. Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a cool experience. So we're getting...
just with the cafeteria. I think the nicest people in Vegas are the staff that work in the cafeteria.
Damn straight, brother. Give them their worth.
They are amazing. They were, so the cooks, the servers, they are awesome.
Except that one security guard who...
Yes.
the
one spotter.
Yeah. It's like, you always have that one guy that just, he has to make it uncomfortable for everybody.
100%.
But after breakfast, we'd make our way back in, go grab our bags in the bathroom. That, like, just outside the bathroom is coincidentally where I ran into Sean Strickland.
We'll get to that.
I'm very
later.
excited.
Yeah.
Then we go up the stairs, and as you reach the top of the stairs, to the left, you see like quite a big matted area, 2 separate sides of it, and then you've got the 2 cages, that was for me. I just took a moment. Like, this is the cage.
Yes. Yeah.
This is where it all started. This is like 30 years later. It's still
crazy.
going. And then the coolest thing, I think, is the monster cans that you have there.
Yes.
So we had quite a few blips in our heart rates.
Yeah, it was weird because we got in there the first day.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we didn't book a session, but can we please just sweat out all this airplane stuff? And we got in there and we saw like a bunch of these guys that are fighting this week is drinking Monster
But
Energy.
they're like smashing it.
Smashing them. And then I'll go to Mark and I go to Dricus and I was like, check, why I drink Monster? And it's just like, we were like, what? This is
Like,
makes
these guys can't be pro athletes. Are they
Yes.
mad?
It's absurd. It was canned water. So it was just canned water. And then we were like, okay, we're going to start smashing them as well. But it did taste funny. Water in a can,
It's not right.
it tastes different.
When you hear that,
Yeah.
the only thing that should be coming out of there is beer.
Yes.
I don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah.
I read on the thing, they said it was for some tour, like a band did a tour,
Okay.
and might have been Red Bull, but
Yeah.
and they made these cans
Yeah.
for them, and it kind of just stuck around.
Okay. Well, that's cool. But it got us very worried from the start.
Yeah, that first day was just all kinds of awkward because now you have a choice: Monster,
Yes.
right, or Prime.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, we all know how we feel about Prime. I must say, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I'm also like, I like Rehydrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah, I must say I'm also now just being a hater. It's not bad. It's just like the 3-colored one, the ice pop one.
You don't need that. That's
No,
like
it's
one of the
terrible.
more tolerant ones for me.
The
Then
blue
the
one
blue
is the
one,
best.
yes.
Blue
The
one.
red one is.
It's like that Stopane. You get Stopane medication. It tastes like that.
Is it bad?
I think when I was a kid, I had trouble sleeping. And then my mom would just give me Stopane and it would knock me out.
Ouch.
Yeah. So
Stopane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check for that. Does it have that?
it was like purple, but like a dark purple.
I've
It's
always
like- it's
been
like
a
a syrup.
sicko. I like medicine, dude. Since a child, like any kind of syrup, I fucking.
Oh really?
I
You
enjoy
drink
it.
it? I like a ACC Carenza C.
Yeah,
I like those little brace tablet, those
Stone.
fizz pops. Yes.
I saw you smashing those noons there in
Noons.
cell every day.
Noon. I know you're watching this. Let's work together because
This man loves you.
I love Noon. Noon is sick. I really enjoy. I enjoy it. I use it every single week. Not every day, but close to maybe 3-4 times a week. I use a Noon, and I would love to work with you guys. It's sick.
Give
but-
him a shout.
Yeah, but so we had this great facility. We did the cold plunge and the hot. That cold plunge was way colder than
is-
it was before that.
Definitely something up with that thing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I take pride in like mental strength, right?
Yes.
I stayed in for a minute, no longer. My body would shut down.
Yes,
Like you would
100%.
find me floating
I
there
think
dead.
the worst is my feet. If I get out, my feet feel like it feels like those bones are breaking.
And it's like it's a weird pain. Like
Yes.
I had mine in the neck, and that, like
Okay.
honestly, that's the only reason that stopped me. It feels like you can literally feel
It's
the
knotting.
inflammation or something like
Yeah.
growing. you know, and the
Yes.
pain gets just intolerant.
Yeah.
Like
So we did like minute sessions, and we go back into the hot bath, and that was quite fun. We used the sauna a few times, but this time not a lot.
no.
And yeah, it was just great to be able to have you join with that facility, and I think it was great to have you there, especially for Dricus's rounds, so
Most
that
certainly.
so
Look,
that I don't get my ass kicked before the fight,
I
because
can't even imagine when you told me that. I was like, I
But the
can't
laws-
fathom what you were telling me.
yeah, the last 2 times it was
Just you and
we
you.
were each other's training partners for the peak sessions, and then every day I'm getting my ass kicked before I need to go fight. It sucks.
No,
Yeah.
honestly, it doesn't. The 1-on-1 is
Yeah.
2 doesn't make sense there
Yeah.
for me, that equation. But I'm really thankful I could be there. I'm just gonna take this time quickly to thank you and Dricus and Coach as well for the experience. Before going, I didn't obviously I had faith, but I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know I was gonna look after myself. And I think the first or second night we were there, you guys told me hey, I'm your guest.
Yes.
I'm here with you.
Yes.
Just take it in.
Yes,
I've obviously
enjoy.
got a job.
Yeah.
Right. But thank you.
Yeah,
So,
it's a
thank
pleasure.
you, Dricky, thank you, Coach. I appreciate you guys taking me there, blessing me with this experience, and what an experience it was, man. I watched on the same point. I watched Rocky last night, and it's the scene Rocky 1.
Yes.
And it's a scene where they come looking for him. He's gonna go fight this, I don't know what is Apollo.
Yeah.
Or not. He's gonna fight him yet. He's gonna fight him, but
Yeah.
he thinks he's just gonna spar him.
Yes.
And he goes to go chat to them, and he's like, "I'll be a good sparring partner. I won't
Yes.
take any cheap shots."
Yes.
And that's what people don't understand. But there's different times in camp,
Yeah.
and the time we were there, about 3 weeks out, is all about preservation,
Yes,
while still
nurture.
getting your training in.
Yeah. It's a fine line between pushing the pace and causing damage. I
Look,
think it's
I think if you ask the Americans, they'll say we are nuts.
yeah, they were saying the great thing was I couldn't take too much contact before my fight just due to injury, and I've been vocal about that after the fight as well. So it was great doing the peak sessions I had to do, and then just watch the rest of the gym be like, what?
And everyone knows, eh?
Yeah, then they're like, that guy's fighting next week.
Yes.
Why are they going so hard and so fast and so full contact sparring? So yeah, it was insane to watch.
No, it was a blessing, man. It really boosted my confidence coming back. I came
Yes.
back with a fire in my belly, because we were going, and I had to work a lot of alternative stuff. So I was
Yes.
obviously sparring the guy Ricky just knocked,
Robert Whittaker.
Robert.
Yeah.
I was trying to mimic his style to the
Yes.
best of my capability, and he's obviously working on dismantling it
Yes.
entirely,
Yes.
like he did.
Yes.
But I don't want to end up like he did in
Yeah.
the cage. So
Yeah.
I've got to be sharper,
Yeah.
right? And that really elevated my confidence. It elevated my skill as well. And I just came back after watching you guys with those spectacular victories, with a fire in my belly, brother. Honestly, I can't wait to join you guys there. You guys are cleaning up completely, and it is, that self-belief. That firstly, the self-belief in you guys, knowing the work you put in, knowing how far you've pushed your bodies, knowing what you've gone through just in this camp, not even saying all the previous camps, getting those victories on the biggest stage in the fashion that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And we're going to
It's
make
crazy.
it 3.
It's funny. But because I was quite vocal that we didn't only have 2 wins that the time we were there. And, so it was great because I had a lot of people reach out to me and say that it's after saying that you ragdolled Chris Curtis, it's just they were like, I think one of the messages were like, yo, you shouldn't be talking outside of the gym. And I was just like, I did not say anything that firstly wasn't true, and secondly that there was not footage of. Because the guys were videotaping the sparring, the guys were chatting
so
about
there
it.
is actually footage, eh?
There were definitely guys videotaping. So it's just if they are allowed to videotape it, I'm allowed to talk about it.
Oh, 100%.
So
Do you think had the roles been reversed,
they would have definitely.
I would have been
definitely
number 1 on social media,
100.
right?
You would have been. They would have mentioned it somewhere, whether it's on social media, on their podcast. It's just something that you would talk about, So, and I must say, in the manner and fashion that they almost called you out, we're allowed to talk about it. There's nothing wrong
100%.
with that. So please tell us The first interaction was Sean Strickland.
Okay, so I'm not a very, I don't know how to say it, but like I'm not like a big fanboy.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yes, you don't.
I don't know all the fighters. I know a
Yes.
few, and Sean Strickland is definitely one of them.
Yes.
I quite like his demeanor.
Mm.
No, not after what he said about Dricky. He'll catch a smack for that.
Yeah.
But in general, I think he's a funny guy. I think
Yes,
he's a
he
cool
is.
guy.
He is funny. Yeah.
So I'm on my way back to the bathroom. I think we just did like some crazy rounds. And I see him walking in, and it's the first time I'm seeing him at the PI.
You
And
never met before. Never greeted each other. This is first.
We don't know
interaction.
each other
Yeah.
from above soap. And we're like maybe 2-3 meters apart, and I check him, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I got super excited. I didn't want to like run at him and like look like a proper fanboy, but I was just like,
Yeah.
you know, like fucking, I don't
I
even know what I
recognize
was
this guy.
thinking. And he looked at me, and he's like, I can see he's like clenching his fist, like looking at like not being aggressive, but just like what's going on here, bro? And I checked him, and I was like, listen, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I like you. And he's like, oh, well, okay, whatever. You should come spar. I'm like, fucking, hey, dude, I'll come spar when? He's like, no, this afternoon. I tune, look, fuck, I just went through some rough rounds.
Yes.
No, Thursday. So I'm like, I'm in, my bro.
Thursday.
I see you on Thursday.
Thursday,
Fucking
12:30. Be there.
We
Yeah.
there. Now I'm looking for my homies. I just fucking organized a sparring session with Sean Strickland.
You were
Where's
so-
Cammy? Where's
I
Dricky?
see you run up the stairs. You go to coach first. It's like, yeah, Sean Strickland. So I just spoke to Sean Strickland. And you're like, sparring Thursday.
On.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So now...
No, you
Oh, no,
spoke
then-
to Dricus. You spoke
I
to
spoke to
Dricus.
Dricus.
Yeah.
Coach was still here.
Yeah.
So then Dricus like, but isn't he fighting this weekend?
Albus, yes.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think he might be fighting. I know he's fighting soon.
Yes.
It might be this weekend. But if you want, he wants to spar, bro.
He said it.
He said
Yeah.
it. Okay. So then we're like, okay, but like maybe,
Yeah.
maybe he won't be there.
Yeah, so that was the Tuesday when you guys met each other.
That was the Tuesday. Then on Thursday, as I'm coming out, I check him, and Chris Kurtz is standing there. So I walk up to him. I'm like, hey, bud, see you at
See you later.
whatever the time is.
Yeah.
See you later. He's like, yo, but I'm not going to spar. I'm fighting this weekend. So I was like, oh, well, like, I kind of assumed.
Yes.
I was hoping, but I kind of assumed. He's like, yo, but we'll see you there. Chris will be there. What weight are you? I'm like, I'm welterweight. He's like, damn, bro, you must hate your life. Like, well, actually, no, I live a good life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking happy with it. I
Yes.
enjoy it. It's like, yo, but, and then I think,
Yeah, that's when they
Chris-
started. Yeah, that's when they
Yeah, like,
started
like
almost. It's like it's in a jokey manner, but it's like sizing you up.
100%.
Yeah.
Bro. So then Chris is like, yo, but he's not that thick. So I said something like, you should see my dick. And they both just laughed.
Yeah.
And like, okay, see you later, bud. I was like, okay, sharp, see you later.
No one enjoyed that interaction more than the reception staff behind the desk, because they were like obviously just watching you guys, because it was quite a weird interaction, because it looked like they were trash talking, but they were also very welcoming. It's
Yes.
weird. It was just like
But
it was like this weird Nacho episode of like, what is happening now? So-
it was very weird. I remember like a few moments after that, like Dricky actually walked into
Yes,
Strickland. And
yes.
Strickland was like, hey, bud, listen, no disrespect over the things I say. I'm just like making a movie. I'm paraphrasing. here.
Yes.
I'm just making a movie. Like, no disrespect. And Dricus was just like, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Like,
going
if
into
you-
that.
Yeah,
notebook.
if you say so. If you say so.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll probably meet you later.
That's cool. No, and then so it's like, okay, Sean is not sparring. There are more, but they also said there are a bunch of other guys. We know
It's
that
open sparring.
Xtreme Couture has a bunch of professional fighters. Open sparring, anyone's welcome. We go there. I actually got to meet Sean Strickland's content creator. What a
Oh,
nice
what?
guy. Yeah, so I actually chatted to him. If we go back, he'll do some stuff for us as well, but he does their podcast, he does all their content, does their photos, and does most of the content creation in the gym. So it was really nice to meet him. But when you started your sparring, he was like, who's this guy? He's like, his name is Mark. He's with us. He's also from South Africa. And he's like, okay, cool. Yes, he's a big middleweight. I'm like, no, he's a welterweight. He's like, no. He didn't believe me the first time. He's like, no. I'm like, yes. He's a welterweight. It's like, shit. Okay, cool. And you guys. So when we got in there as well, it was quite tense.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, I mean, look, us being like proper honde van Suid-Afrika,
Yeah.
like we still in the minivan drove to go get some gear before we
Yes.
rocked up there. We got some shin pads, some nice gloves.
Yeah, because we didn't have anything.
Nothing. This was like borrowing gloves every day.
Yes. Yeah.
But with the intention of we're gonna go there and get some gloves, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So on the way back in the minivan, I'm
The
like,
Mommobile.
we pulled some massive clout with that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Especially spinning it up the hill.
Yeah.
So now we get there, and at the front reception is I don't know if you remember, the girl's
Yes.
like, oh, hey, what are you here? I'm like, I'm here to spar.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, just sign the waiver. I signed the waiver. She's like, that's $20.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck,
No,
I'm not paying to fuck people up. Sean Strickland invited me. She's like, oh, Sean invited you. I'm like, Sean invited me, yes. She's like, okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah. Great gym, massive
Massive gym, beautiful gym.
Yeah, very cool. I like the aesthetic of the
mean-
gym. It's sick.
Yeah.
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 What?
No, I just remember us walking in there, like zero fucks given.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, like we are here with the sole purpose, and that is to spar, and we spar like we spar with intentions.
Yes.
Here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing in the PI that also realize, like, there's intention behind what we do. It's not always physically to kill each other, but the
Yes.
intention is like there's a certain level that we always strive to reach.
Yes. And I think
And-
also like a type of output that is quite, if you look at it from the outside, it looks quite intense. But I think
Yes.
it's just a very high output, high pace, and it's just non-stop going.
And I
So-
think that's what carried me through the rounds with Chris Curtis, because I was tired, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't feeling the greatest I've ever felt.
Yeah, you also had sessions that morning.
I had sessions that morning.
Yeah.
And it was still like the first week, I think, since we got there, right?
First week since we got there, and you also had a title fight before that, and you were on holiday. So,
100%.
so it's like it wasn't all going your way. And
Yeah.
we still
But we're
pitched,
still
but it's
there.
It's great because also I think out of a type of systematic approach to watch from, because you never know what the guys are busy with outside our camp. Like
Yes.
if we training in camp here, obviously, I think we are by far the best gym in Africa. And now, but you always wonder, okay, what systems are the guys busy with in
Yes.
gyms outside of our
Yes.
country, our continent? So it's great to go there with, okay, we have one of our guys sparring here. Let's see how that goes. But also having to look at what they are busy with, it was quite interesting because I think a lot of these guys were busy testing out their own techniques,
Yeah.
testing out like new methods, new strategies, and their sparring is quite interesting in the fact that it's all small gloves, all shin pads, where we break it down quite a lot.
It's very courteous.
Yes.
So that's like I didn't feel good inside my heart about that sparring session. Like, even though you guys like. Even though I did win every round against Chris Curtis,
It was amazing.
Even though I did ragdoll him,
Yeah.
what I didn't like about it is the fact that he just tried to walk me down.
Yes.
And I threw and I landed punches,
Mm.
but I didn't feel it was a realistic sparring session in the sense of, had I put some more effort into some of these punches, the fight would have changed completely.
100%.
You know?
Yes.
And he was doing the same. He wasn't throwing to hit.
Yes.
Right? And all he was really doing was sending in southpaw, sending that left to the body
Yes.
and coming up with that right hook.
Yeah.
And it quite agitated me, but I know like a fact is a fact, and the fact is that with wrestling you can't go soft.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why, like, I think I just shot. I took him down and I ragdolled him. I was
Yeah.
in control the whole time.
Yeah.
I worked my ground and pound, up, down, up, down. First round was like, it was a good one in my head, in the
Yeah.
sense of like, I won. I feel I comfortably won,
Mm.
but I'm just not happy because I feel I was forced to wrestle so that I can go as hard as I want to.
Yes.
When in reality, I'm working on my stand up and I
Yeah.
want to let my hands go a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I can't wait in my next fight to actually show the world that I can stand up. I can bang.
100%. Yeah. No, I think that's great because we got to see in your Zico fight just the pure dominance you have. If you get hold of someone, it's like, okay, it's done, it's finished. And we saw that we actually just had sparring now as well. You see that every single time. It's just like this pure
Jammer
dominance.
Niels.
Yeah. So sorry, Muffin Man. Apologies, but it is great to, even with the best guys in the world, that you still had this goal of working on certain stuff. And I think that is sometimes when with sparring you get quite tunnel vision because you just want to win the fight.
Yes.
And then you don't focus on the homework you've had
Yes.
leading up to that. And I think like in today's session was, even if we get our asses kicked, if you still just tried to apply the stuff that we did in the week, it's a successful sparring session nonetheless. Like
100%.
next week you're just gonna try and better on that. So it was, from the outside perspective, it was great to, and don't get me wrong as well, like you definitely had a target on your back. It wasn't like they weren't like
course.
it wasn't a warm welcome.
No, they weren't like,
Hey,
hey,
Moki, what's
Africa,
up?
come here.
Yeah, that was
Africa, let's go. You and me, first round. I'm like, okay, but you want to go first round
yeah.
with me? Let's go.
And it's like, yeah, in the cage so that everyone can see us. And I'm like, okay.
Look, I must say,
Yeah.
the thing I found weird
Yeah.
was all the complaints afterwards, all the excuses.
Yes.
How tired he was, how I don't know, his fucking weekend wasn't right.
Yeah.
That's something that I pride in myself and our team. Like,
Yeah.
there's no excuses.
Yeah. Like if you have a bad day, it's just like, yeah, I got my ass
You had
kicked.
a fucking
Yeah.
bad day, buddy.
Like, yeah. You got your
Better
ass
luck
kicked
next
boy.
week.
Yeah. But and then also you so when you faced Yanal Ashmus, I'm
Yes.
maybe butchering his name, apologies, but he's really good, and it was great to see your round with him as well, because I was a massive fan of his. I didn't we actually saw him at the PI for a few days in a row,
Yeah.
and then only at Xtreme I was like, oh shit, that's him. And he had like a thicker beard when he fought, so I was just like, wasn't sure if it was him, but he was really good.
No, he came with the heat.
And he's good. Like,
No,
technically,
100%.
he's very good.
So when we actually warmed up together.
Yes.
And we were like going, but it's like, you know, one of those like, ba, 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 ba,
yeah.
ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, so it's just like,
Yeah,
okay,
every time is a little.
okay.
And then one of the, I think like middleweights or light heavyweights, like, hey, calm down. Like, we're just warming up. And I'm looking at him like we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
like,
we're fine.
It's mutual still,
Yes,
you know? Like,
yes.
we're both having fun. And then when we did our round, I don't remember how it started, to be honest. But soon enough, we found ourselves wrestling again.
Yes. And he had good scrambles.
No, he had extremely good scrambles. Where I started really enjoying myself is after the first encounter, up, down, and then he shot. And he shot against the cage.
Yes.
And as he shot against the cage, I felt he's not trying to take me down. He's just trying to catch a breath here.
Yeah.
And I took my fingers and I wedged them in there. So I'm like holding him up and I'm like trying to dig my fingers as deep as I can into this little piece of his jaw. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how long this guy is going to allow me to like literally dig my fingers up in his jaw, like try to tickle his throat.
But that was a great round, sparring wise. Like, you guys matched.
That intention, that's what I'm used to.
Yeah. That was a round at CIT where it's like, you know about the type of pace you want, and that's how it went.
100%.
So, yeah.
Dude, I see it.
Yeah.
The way he knocked that guy, I see it.
Yeah.
Like, I went with him. He's like a little David, dude. You know,
Yeah.
David from the Bible.
Yes,
the way he gets explained, like short, stocky, hard,
and
just
he's
like
strong.
Ferocious, bro. I
and
really enjoyed
not
him.
a scared, like not a ounce of fear. Like, he was just like
Nothing.
pushing the pace. It was good to watch. We chatted so much about not being gay, and also about this, we are running out of time, Gila. So we're gonna have to have you back for a part 3, because in part 1 you talked about walking to Cape Town,
Yes.
and we mentioned Lucy.
Lucy.
So we need to chat. You are fighting in the UAE Warriors.
25th of August.
25th of August. So I think we'll do episode 3 closer to the date, if that's cool
Yes,
with you.
please. Yes,
We'll chat
please.
about UAE Warriors and we'll chat about Lucy.
Lucy.
But-
my hartse punt.
Jou
in
hartse punt,
Afrikaans.
ja.
Blue eyes, grey fur. Shout out, Lucy. I
Blue
hope you're
eyes,
well,
grey
baby.
fur. But Marky, it was great to see you. Absolutely, you deserve to be in the UFC. The PI is going to be our home. Vegas, we owned that experience. I think I had so much fun having you join us on that trip. Not only for the fact that Dricus got to kick your ass before the fight a little bit, but also just the whole experience was amazing, and it was great to have you there. And I look forward to going with you, but then for you to compete, and then I'm just going with, just what's up. Maybe we share a card even. That would be sick.
Or a bed.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to check out the first episode, we'll put a link up of the first episode where we chat about him walking to Cape Town. That was insane. And then we'll do episode 3 before your fight in the UAE.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Enjoy. Cheers, guys. Thanks.